Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, how are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Fallout 76 news video, and last night Bethesda surprised us with a little bit of extra news about the upcoming Night of the Moth update that is due to release in the early part of December. So, let's jump in and take a look at all the information they've got for us. Okay then, so yes, in December we have the Night of the Moth update coming with a whole new seasonal event, a new season, and we'll have a whole load of quality of life changes coming to the game as well. Obviously we know that a few bits and pieces from that have been pushed back. There was a little bit of news saying that one of the smaller quality of life features isn't working quite the way they want it to yet, so that one's been delayed in the last couple of days as well. We'll get to that in a sec. And yeah, there is some fun stuff still coming, some very cool stuff in here as well. The new event looks great fun, so let's jump in and see what they've got. So, little Halloween themed photo to start off with, but we have Inside the Vault, Night of the Moth Dev Dive. So, the Night of the Moth is on its way to Fallout 76 on December the 8th. So there we go, we have a confirmed date for this update. So, my theory was actually the 7th, because the 7th would have been the Tuesday, but this is Wednesday the 8th of December, so there we go, just over a week into the month. And yeah, this is also going to be the start date for the new season as well, so we have absolute confirmation now that season 6, is it that we're currently on? Whichever one we're currently on, will be ending on December the 7th, and the new season, which I believe is season 7, numbers now throwing me, is going to start on December the 8th. So this one ends the 7th, the new one starts on the 8th. So there's the heads up as to when that ends if you're still working your way through that. So, we've also got details on double score and daily challenges this weekend, and upcoming week of bonus challenges in a variety of in-game activities you can take part in during the following weekend. Read on to learn more. So a lot of this stuff will be relating to Thanksgiving over in the US next week. So, obviously with most of Bethesda's studios being based in the US, that's going to be impacting the way things go and the things they're releasing and stuff like that. And obviously it will therefore impact the way we play as well, so that's cool. But, Night of the Moth Dev Dive. So, the Night of the Moth is going to introduce the Mothman Equinox seasonal event, which will bring you up close and personal with the Mothman cult as you aid the enlightened in a ritual to summon the wise Mothman to Point Pleasant. So, the wise Mothman is the one we meet at the lighthouse for Path of Enlightenment, as opposed to the angry ones we meet elsewhere. This is a new set of cultists that we are going to be meeting as well, and the new ones worship the enlightened Mothman, the wise Mothman rather, and their group are called the Enlightened, and they consider the other more aggressive Mothman cultists to be heretics who worship the crazy Mothman. So, yeah, interesting dynamic being sort of added here. We've got a whole new group and almost faction being added here, sort of sub-faction perhaps might be a better way of looking at it. But will be coming as part of this particular seasonal event. Obviously, they won't be around outside of the seasonal event, but when the event is live, you'll be able to meet these friendly cultists and join them in their ritual, which should be good fun. Especially if you like playing a Mothman cultist and don't want to be a lunatic. So, this patch will also implement a wide variety of quality of life improvements, ranging from nearby corpse looting and legendary loot sharing, and beyond. We wanted to share a more in-depth look at Night of the Moth update with you, so we sat down with senior quest designer Carl McKevitt and lead designer Don Edgerton to chat about this and more. Watch our latest dev dive video below to learn more about the seasonal event and improvements that are on the way. So, just here, as you can see, I've already had a look at this. We have the video, and there's some good stuff in it. It's quite interesting. However, rather than going through the whole 13-minute video, we'll speed this along a little bit, and I've got a few notes for you. I do, however, suggest you check this out, because I'm not going to go over absolutely every detail, and it's quite interesting. There's some good stuff in there, and there's a few shots of the event, which hopefully I'll be dropping into this video as well, but we will wait and see on that one. So definitely some cool stuff worth taking a look at in there. I would strongly recommend. As always, I'll link to this blog post down below so you can follow that through and check it out. So we have the new Enlightened Sect, who, as I say, are the friendly group, and they will be sort of considering themselves to be the purists, whereas the more aggressive Mothmen, to them at least, Mothman cultists who worship the red-eyed Mothman, will be considered heretics, so that kind of makes sense with the aggressive ones. So a little bit of change in dynamic there. So the seasonal event has two main phases. Phase 1 involves preparing for the ritual, which is running around Point Pleasant, which is where this will take place. It's every hour at the top of the hour, much like Meat Week is, although the format of the event's a bit different. And involve running around. There are apparently totems that we have to destroy on the rooftops of Point Pleasant, which is the preparation we need to do to kind of drive out the influence of the heretic cultists and set up for this event. I'm guessing there's a bit more to it than just that, but I'll have to jump in and see for myself. And Phase 2 involves protecting a number of pyres. So the way this is basically going to work is there are 3 pyres, which are sort of like little braziers actually. Similar to the Enlightenment brazier at Palace of the Winding Path, the one in the courtyard there, they look a lot like that. There are 3 of them spread out around Point Pleasant, and initially one of them will light and you'll have to defend that, then a second one will light and you'll have to defend both, and then later on a third one will light and you'll have to defend all 3 from attacking heretic cultists. Now, it's worth noting everybody does have to spread out and protect all 3 because the rewards you get are going to be based on the number of lit braziers at the end of the event. So obviously the attackers will be trying to knock them over, put them out, etc., and we'll be trying to defend them. So yeah, if all 3 are lit at the end of the update, the end of the event rather, then you'll get the best tier of rewards. So sort of like a lot of the other events with tiers of success to them. So that's cool. And as I say, every hour on the top of the hour. So the event will be running for 2 weeks. It's normally going to be about 1 week, but 2 weeks on its first appearance, starting on the 8th as well. The idea, as I say, is the event is on the top of the hour, and they're saying 1, maybe twice a year. They haven't really decided. It could work up to 4 times a year, sort of, because, equinox. Well, 2 equinoxes, 2 solstices, I suppose, so we'll see. I imagine they'll be sort of focused around that, so I guess we'll see one this time of year every year in December, and another one around about midsummer perhaps, so we'll have to keep an eye out for what they decide to do on that, but as per, it'll be like a seasonal event, a bit like Fashion Act, that sort of thing. There's a second part to this event though, and that is the appearance of cultist high priests, who will function somewhat similarly to either Holiday or Spooky Scorched or Treasure Hunter Mole Miners, in that they will appear all over the map at random locations. The best way to find them I don't yet know, we'll have to wait and see on that, we'll have to have a look around and try it out. But you'll find these guys around, they'll be cultist high priests, and they will use sort of chemicals, hallucinogenic chemicals, to take control, mind control other creatures to fight with them. So they can pop up and they'll get involved and start causing trouble. And like with the other events, when you kill the high cultist, the high priest rather, you will get a unique loot drop that will give you outfits and other things that you can collect from them. So same principle, it's fairly familiar, but it's in addition to the rest of the event, which is cool. So it adds a little bit more variety. Again, obviously those will only be present during the course of the seasonal event. So yeah, good fun, should be interesting. I don't know whether or not they'll be legendary. I guess they probably will, that's usually the way they go, would make sense. But it might be an opportunity to farm out some legendaries as well when this event goes live. So, in the video they also had a little chat about a number of quality of life updates that we're getting, and most of this is stuff we've heard before, but it's nice as a little refresher. So, one of the big ones being area looting. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that, no I am. The idea is that you'll go up to a corpse, and you'll have an option to just loot directly from the corpse, as you normally do, that little pop-up, and there'll be a second button where instead of opening up a menu that loots solely the corpse you're looking at, it will now open up a single menu that has the loot pools of everything in the local area. So the range on this we're not too sure about, apparently they're still fine-tuning that, but the idea is sight range, so it's not massive, you're not going to be looting somebody in a different zone on the other side of the map, but anything that's in reasonably close proximity, which is, a standard area looting sort of thing. Unlike most standard ones though, it doesn't auto-loot everything. You'll obviously have the option to press a button and do that if you want, but you'll also be able to go through and say, I just want to separate out all the ammo and have that, or separate out the legendaries or whatever. So that should be a lot easier to get hold of and just pick what you want without actually having to go corpse to corpse, which is great. They did mention Radiation Rumble as an obvious example there, which is, definitely going to be helpful there. It should also allow bypassing some of the issues with plasma weapons, stuff like that, where the goo pile or the ash piles for other weapons get in the way of looting. Once this update goes live, it won't be a problem at all, which is great. XP sharing is a feature within teams. So currently there's a number of little features so that your teammates share things. The way this is going to work is that even if you don't hit an enemy, anybody on your team who does kill that enemy will still afford you 50% of the XP. So if you're involved in the combat directly, you'll get the full amount, but if your teammate kills something, you get 50% of the XP, which is cool. Not sure how this is going to go for public teams and whether or not it will work across the map yet. It might well do. I wouldn't be surprised if it did, but I would also not be surprised if it didn't, so we'll have to see. But it's 50% of the XP if you don't get involved in the fight. Presumably goes back up to full if you do get involved in the fight. Not entirely sure why they've gone that way, possibly as a means of encouraging people to continue contributing as opposed to just sort of hanging off the coattails of their teammates and taking too much advantage of everybody else doing the work, you know. You know how it is when you're doing a group project and one person does all the work and the others just claim some of the credit at the end? That's kind of what they want to avoid, I guess. That's my speculation anyway. So the other thing is legendary loot sharing, which I know a lot of people are keen on. Currently, if you want to claim a legendary from a fallen enemy, you have to land a hit on that enemy in order to get access to their loot pool. This will no longer be the case. As I understand it, I will check and confirm one way or the other on down the line, but as I understand it, it's not team related, this one. If you are close to, within sight range of, a legendary enemy when it gets taken down by anybody, you can also loot that legendary enemy, or you will be able to when the update goes live. So that's going to be very, very handy. No need to wait for somebody else to come over so that they can get a bash in. No need to get a bash in and wait for... try and run over there and get there in time yourself. That sort of thing won't be a problem anymore. I know most people are generally quite agreeable on that and willing to let everybody get their shots in, but this is going to streamline that friendly policy and make it so you don't really have to faff around with it, which is a good move. Surprising it's taken so long, but definitely a welcome move. So everybody should be able to get access to all that legendary loot, assuming you're reasonably within the area anyway. So definitely looking forward to that. And the last thing they mentioned, obviously, that we know about is... Pip-Boy colours will be coming. You'll be changing that via the settings menu. You know, you go into the map and find the settings menu. Under there will be a RGB sliders for your Pip-Boy, and you can just adjust them, make your Pip-Boy whatever colour you like. Much like I've done with making my Pip-Boy like white at the moment. And from the look of things, that's also going to affect your Pip-Boy light as well. I would expect it to, as it's just basically an in-game modification of a file saved on your machine. It's basically those RGB numbers are currently saved as numbers from 0 to 100, I think, or 1 to 100. And what I did is edit those numbers. The sliders will basically do that for you. So yeah, it'll work the same way my current one does. So if you've seen that on stream, you'll be able to do something similar, or you'll be able to change it whatever colour you happen to want, which is great for practical sense, like I say, with my white Pip-Boy light that's much brighter and easier to see. Or if you happen to have a bit of difficulty reading the greens, for example, which could be colour blindness, could just generally be that the green's not the most readable colour in the world, because it isn't, as cool as it may be, then yeah, that should make life a lot easier. And there is one other thing as well, which is there's a new tab going into the build menu, which is a new tab. So anything you've added recently, any new plans you've unlocked, any new atomic shop items, that's the word I'm looking for, that you've unlocked as well, those will appear in the new tab. How long they'll be there for is an open question at this point. My guess is only during the first session, or the same session that you unlock the item in. So if it's Atomic Shop, you log into a world, it'll be there, but if you log back out and change the world, then it'll disappear, I suspect, because that's how it works in the Pip-Boy at the moment. And obviously, if you unlock a plan in-game, it'll be there while you're in that session. If you log out to the main menu and go back into another world, then it'll probably clear. But it's definitely going to make newly found objects that bit easier to find, at least in the immediate short term. Personally, I'd still love to see a massive overhaul of the menu system. I'm sure there's plenty of you guys out there that would agree with that observation. Make it a lot tidier, a lot more easy to find things, maybe subdivide things a bit, stuff like that. Just rebuild that menu from the ground up, because it's gotten rather unwieldy over the last 3 years, but not yet, but who knows, hopefully in future that'll be something they'll look at. Obviously they are looking at these menus. Whether or not they make these changes, we're going to have to wait and find out. And obviously just keep chucking in suggestion tickets for stuff like that, and then they know that it's something we're interested in doing. So, moving on from this video, as I say, you should still check it out because there is other bits and pieces in there that are interesting. Yes, Night of the Moth update, currently slated for release on December 8th. If you want to test it out on the PTS, then you need to be on PC and playing through Bethesda Net, and obviously the PTS is running through till December 7th as well. So, The more immediate stuff this weekend, we have extra score. So, our adventures with the Unstoppables in Season 6 are going to come to an end when we release Night of the Moth update next month. Give your rank a boost by earning double the usual score from daily challenges you complete this weekend. So, double score for dailies is live now. And that's running through until November 22nd, which I'm guessing will be Tuesday from the... Monday, rather, from the look of things. Yes, Monday. So, 5 PM UK time, midday Eastern time in the US, I would guess, because that's the usual time. Starting the next day, that'll be Tuesday the 23rd, we are adding some weekly bonus challenges, so extra weeklies available, to the lineup to help you rank up, claim rewards, and put a stop to the devious diabolicals once and for all. So yes, if you are still racing towards the end, there'll be extra weeklies following this weekend as well, so you can grab that extra score that way. The last full day to rank up and claim your Season 6 reward will be December 7th, and we hope you can use double score and bonus challenges to finish out the season on a high note in the coming weeks. So yeah, this is the last major opportunity to get a boost to your score at the moment, so if you are lagging a little bit behind, then seize the moment while you can. So, moving forward, Thanksgiving weekend activities. So that's looking forward to next week and next weekend. As I say, obviously over in the US it's Thanksgiving next week for those who celebrate. Have a good one. But for all of us, there are a number of activities. So as we head into the holiday season, we know that many of you will be busy cooking, foraging for ingredients, and hunting down some perfectly preserved pie for the final course of your Thanksgiving feasts. There are a couple of Thanksgiving Atomic Shop items in there at the moment as well, which if you're looking for stuff to decorate tables with, these are pre-decorated tables in the Atomic Shop, so camp builders might want to have a look at that one. Once you've eaten your fill and finished sharing what you think you're thankful with your dinner guests, be sure to set aside some time for the cornucopia of in-game activities we've prepared for you on the Thanksgiving weekend, so next week. If your pockets are feeling a little light, then gather all of your unwanted items and visit a vendor to sell them for up to double the normal daily maximum number of caps. Similarly, if your legendary script is what you're after, then you can head to the nearest legendary exchange machine to trade your legendary items for up to twice the maximum daily amount. And finally, bring your stack of freshly minted script to Purveyor Murmur's shop at the Rusty Pick in the Ash Heap to pick up more legendary weapons and armour at a 25% discount. So, in a nutshell, caps are plenty, double caps available. Script surplus, double script available, and the Purveyor sale, all running next weekend for a few days, so that's Thursday 25th through till Monday the 29th. So get an opportunity to earn more in-game currency, and as usual, you can go and spend it at the Purveyor if you want to. As per, my usual recommendation is don't just use the crafting system. You won't get any discounts on legendary modules rather, or Vault Steel, but nonetheless it's still a more efficient way of doing it, so I'd still suggest going that way. But script surplus and caps are plenty you can definitely take advantage of with no disadvantages, so well worth doing. So next week, many in our studio will be spending some time with their families for Thanksgiving. Fair play. So we will not have an article up on November 25th. We will return the following week. We're planning to take a look at Fallout 76 Season 7, including rank-up reward previews, and presumably a bit more. So those who celebrate Thanksgiving, we hope you have a wonderful holiday weekend, and you are able to share it with your loved ones. Until next time, we'll see you in Appalachia. Yes, no blog post next week, but the week after they'll be jumping back in with a preview of the next season, which will be looking a lot closer by that time, I'm sure, with it being early December at that point. Crikey, this year has disappeared. So yeah, very, very cool. Nice little preview of the Night of the Mothman event. Looking forward to jumping in and trying that out. Hopefully I'll have a little bit of footage for you in this video. I'm going to have a look in a bit. And yeah, the quality of life changes, they're simple. I think there are more coming than are actually listed in that video. In fact, I know there are more coming than are listed in that video. I was going to say the one that was pulled out was glowing enemies. So the idea was that dead enemy loot piles would glow so you can find them more easily. Apparently there are still some weird technical issues going on with that they've yet to iron out the creases on, so they're pushing that back to the next update, which will be early part of next year, I would imagine. I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably beginning of February at the earliest, with obviously Christmas is happening and they won't be back in the office after Christmas until probably, I think the 3rd is the first Monday in January this year. Let's have a quick look. Yes, it is. So they'll probably be back in the office around about the 3rd, so that pushes back the likely launch of the next update a little bit, so that's my guess, beginning of February. But yeah, that will probably also affect the other things that have been delayed out of this patch as well. Things like, what other things were delayed? I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, pets, things like that. So those I imagine will start to appear in probably around February, assuming all goes according to plan. But we will have to wait and see on that. For now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I do hope you found this useful and informative. I'm definitely looking forward to this update. There's some very, very cool stuff in it. If you did like the video, please do consider dropping subs and likes. I do very much appreciate it. Social media links, merch store, and channel memberships all available down below the video as per usual. If you are interested in supporting the channel that way, please do check it out. I very, very much appreciate it. And if you get a chance to join us for live streams as well, of course playing a little bit of Fallout 76 and having some fun in The Witcher as well. And of course more to come next year as well. We've got some cool stuff lined up, so lots to watch out for. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.